Part 81. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 802. Nearby, some unknown monks gasped when they heard this. They were able to enter the second level of the secret realm entirely because the guardian was killed by a monk. At this time, all the monks looked at Qin Feng with incredible eyes. The young man in front of them actually had such a terrible power. The other party was able to go against the flow and kill the immortals. I am afraid that his background is extremely amazing. There is no need to waste words on an ant, just praise him. The king of the sacred tree that was injured by Qin Feng shouted, and endless halos surged on it. Almost in the blink of an eye, its body that was injured by Qin Feng recovered. Fusion. The sacred tree on the other side nodded. Then, as they whispered, the two clones of the king of the sacred tree gathered together in an instant. Almost in the blink of an eye, they became one. Ong. At this moment, a terrifying momentum burst out from the king of the sacred tree. The terrifying murderous intent rushed straight to the sky, permeating the entire valley, and instantly stunned everyone present. The atmosphere of the entire valley changed, and the terrifying murderous intent swept across the fields. The king of the divine trees revived, and its aura reached the seventh level of the king, and the power it exuded shocked people. It turns out to be true. Oh my, it turns out that they are really one. Countless cultivators were frightened. The two clones of the king of the divine trees merged into one, and the momentum they exuded changed the temperature in the space present. There was a murderous aura, and countless vegetation boulders around it were suspended in the air, floating in the air. Swish. The clone of the king of the divine trees moved, and around it, countless boulders accompanied by whirlwinds, flooded towards Qin Feng, swallowing him whole. In the whirlwind of the boulders, the king's runes were engraved, and there were sounds of immortal swords, and terrible murderous intent collided in the field. The hairs of the people at the scene all stood on end. Such a scene was really shocking. Even with their powerful spirits, they could not feel what kind of killing Qin Feng, who was enveloped by the whirlwind, had suffered. Kill. Suddenly, Qin Feng, who was submerged by the king rune, shouted in a low voice, and then a terrifying divine power wave spread out. Then, people found that the king rune covering Qin Feng suddenly turned back to the king of the divine tree. In an instant, the terrible whirlwind submerged the king of the divine tree. People found that in the whirlwind, a giant standing tall appeared. The giant held a stone axe, and many strange images flowed around him, like a god descending into the world. Obviously, it was the king of the divine tree, and the king's whirlwind he created seemed to have become Qin Feng's killing style at this moment, and the power became even more terrifying. The terrifying energy made people terrified and extremely ferocious. Oh my god, that giant is so scary. I'm afraid it has the power of a landslide and a tsunami. In the distance, countless monks felt the movement spreading from the whirlwind, and they were all shocked. They found that the axe chopped towards the king of the divine tree and split the whirlwind in an instant. Moreover, the axe had not even approached the king of the divine tree, but the king of the divine tree split into two halves and flew hundreds of meters away. And, something even more terrifying happened. The body of the king of the divine tree, which was split into two halves, melted instantly in mid-air like snowflakes and disappeared into nothingness. At this moment, everyone was stunned. Just a vision shown by Qin Feng directly killed one of the clones of the king of the divine tree. This scene was terrifying. And the other three clones of the divine tree were also extremely terrified. At this moment, they felt that the energy of the two clones had all disappeared. If it weren't for the most critical moment, they withdrew their souls from them, they would be dismembered instantly and disappeared into nothingness. At this moment, the king of the divine tree also knew that he was facing a difficult situation. In an instant, the other three kings of the divine tree did not dare to hesitate. They instantly merged into one, and the terrible momentum was completely superimposed, allowing them to reach the rank of the 8th grade king. Originally, their 5 clones merged into one. The combat power was able to reach the peak of the 8th grade and enter the rank of the 9th grade. However, it was precisely because they were at the juncture of transformation that they were divided into 5 clones. Once they merged into one after the 5 clones, they might be able to reach the 9th grade directly. However, due to Qin Feng's move, the 2 clones exploded in the sky, and the energy on them also turned into nothingness in an instant. This really caused them to suffer heavy losses. Not only did they fail to break through to the 9th grade, but even their 8th grade divine power was greatly reduced. Quickly swallow the jade, and make a quick decision to avoid any accidents. At this moment, the voice of the king of the divine tree rang out, and its whole body glowed. It knew that if it could not advance brilliantly at this moment, it would be resentful. Almost instantly, the king of the divine tree grabbed the jade fairy flower, wanting to catch it in his hand and refine it together. However, Qin Feng would never give him a chance. In an instant, he held the stone axe of the sky and chopped towards the king of the divine tree. The stone axe of the sky, as one of Qin Feng's killers, now flows with terrifying energy, which can kill all the cultivators in the king realm. At this moment, a giant appeared in the sky. The giant, holding a stone axe, chopped down, as if he was going to create the world. Who are you? At this moment, the king of the divine tree was completely terrified. He felt the strange phenomenon behind Qin Feng and trembled all over. It felt that no matter how hard it struggled, it was no match for the stone axe giant. Moreover, it clearly felt that the void was imprisoned, making it feel like it was falling into a quagmire and it was difficult to struggle. Qin Feng ignored it, holding the stone axe and slashing forward, completely submerging the king of the divine tree. No. At this moment, the king of the divine tree was horrified and roared loudly, and had no intention of resisting at all. The stone axe of creation released a terrifying divine light and swallowed the king of the divine tree. In an instant, even if the king of the divine tree was reunited and its combat power reached the 8th grade king realm, it was not enough. It was directly submerged by the runes of the stone axe of creation and shattered on the spot. There surged an extremely dazzling divine pattern, and the king of the divine tree was shrouded in the divine power of the stone axe of creation. It was struggling violently, and the king runes on its body were completely revived and boiled up. It was struggling to escape. But the void was imprisoned, and it was completely ignited. The king of the sacred trees was like black snow, shattering into pieces in the void, and then flying like snowflakes, turning into nothingness in the void, and completely disappearing into smoke. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 803. Silence. The scene was dead silent. Countless monks in the distance all opened their mouths in surprise, like clay sculptures and wooden sculptures, standing there in a daze. Such a scene was really unbelievable. What kind of means is this? It's really amazing and terrifying. Everyone was stunned. The king of the divine tree was crushed in an instant. This was beyond people's cognition and people couldn't understand it. Everyone present was terrified. An 8th grade great accomplishment king was killed like this. It was really too shocking. Qin Feng was suspended in the air, holding the Kaishan stone axe, with an extremely calm expression. Killing a king of the divine tree was nothing to him. After all, the Kaishan stone axe was his biggest killer, which could cross the border and kill all enemies. After killing the king of the divine tree, a star gold scratch card appeared on the spot. Qin Feng moved, walked forward, and picked up the star gold scratch card. However, he was not in a hurry to scrape it open, but came to the top of the Chalcedony fairy flower. At this moment, the Chalcedony fairy flower was flowing with brilliant divine aura, and its essence was extremely rich. This kind of essence of heaven and earth, the spiritual treasure of the world, made everyone's eyes red. If the cultivators in the realm of princes could get it, they could advance to the realm of King's Mouth. How could everyone present not be tempted by such a holy object? However, after seeing Qin Feng's extraordinariness, everyone's pupils shrank, and they did not dare to step forward to snatch it. At this moment, Qin Feng waved his hand to take the chalcedony fairy flower and sealed it in one of his jade boxes. At this moment, his eyes were shining with a little brilliance. After entering the secret realm, he could actually get a fairy tree chalcedony and a fairy flower chalcedony. It was really a great harvest. He even suspected that if he could completely refine these two chalcedony, he might be able to touch the threshold of the ninth heaven of the princes. After a short silence, Qin Feng scratched the star gold scratch card, and the system prompt sounded. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully using the star gold scratch card and obtaining the intermediate swordsmanship of the celestial immortal, the heaven-slaying sword. Qin Feng's eyes lit up when he heard this. With the blessing of his Pangu bloodline, he instantly learned the heaven-slaying sword. Ding! Congratulations to the host for upgrading the heaven-slaying sword to the celestial immortal superior supreme heaven-slaying sword with the blessing of Pangu bloodline. Ding! The supreme heaven-slaying sword has reached perfection. Qin Feng's eyes burst into ecstasy when he heard this. This supreme heaven-slaying sword can make his strength soar again. After doing all this, Qin Feng was ready to meet up with Lan Yu and the others and leave this place. At this moment, there was a sudden riot at the exit of the second level of the small world, followed by a powerful breath sweeping in. Qin Feng's eyes condensed slightly, and he saw several figures in the void approaching this valley at an extremely fast speed. In just a few blinks of an eye, the group arrived above the valley where Qin Feng and his group were. This scene made Qin Feng frown slightly. He found that the clothes of these people were of the same lineage as the Luo Pavilion Venerable and others he killed not long ago. These were the strong men of the Luo Pavilion. Look, it's Li Luan, the young master of the Luo Pavilion, and Li Yang Wang, the deputy pavilion master of the Luo Pavilion. It is rumored that the cultivation of Li Yang Wang, the deputy pavilion master of the Luo Pavilion, has reached the threshold of the 5th level of the Great Accomplishment King. It is rumored that the two of them don't get along. Why are they here together? Is the old man here to avenge the strong men in the clan? Isn't this a bit of a waste of talent? Some cultivators around were talking about it. This scene really shocked them. Li Yang Wang, the deputy pavilion master of the Luo Pavilion, is the deputy pavilion master of the Nanling Holy Land. Because he is equivalent to the deputy holy master of a holy land, he is a truly powerful existence. What do you know? Li Tian is the disciple of King Li Yang. He came here to avenge his disciple. There were many people who did not leave nearby who explained that King Li Yang was unfathomable. He came here to avenge his beloved disciple. Have you seen Li Tian, Li Huo, and others, young man? King Li Yang came to the scene. He looked at Qin Feng, the only one in the scene, and his eyes swept over Qin Feng. Not long ago, he received a report from the monks of his faction, Li Huo Pavilion, in the secret realm, saying that Li Tian was in danger and found a fairy flower, so he came to support immediately, but met Li Luan and others halfway. They rushed to this valley based on the clues left by Li Huo and others, but did not find the two people, which made them very surprised. Just next to King Li Yang, Li Luan and the people around her were staring at Qin Feng floating in the air, with a brilliant look in their eyes. Obviously, Li Luan recognized Qin Feng's figure at the first time. She was very curious. Why was he here? Young man, tell me, where is the king of sacred trees and the fairy flower jade marrow here? King Li Yang's face was gloomy. They got the information that there was a powerful king of sacred trees and a magical jade marrow fairy flower here, which made him excited. But at this time, Venerable Li Huo and Li Tian disappeared, the king of sacred trees also disappeared, and the fairy flower jade marrow was nowhere to be found. Only Qin Feng, a young man, was there. This made him doubt that all the events were related to Qin Feng. The king of sacred trees was naturally killed by me, and as for the fairy flower, it was naturally my trophy. Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air, holding a sky-opening stone axe and said calmly. Just you. King Liang's face turned cold when he heard this, and there was a strong murderous intention in his eyes, which was extremely powerful. The young man in front of him was only on the second level of the princes, and he suspected that the other party was making fun of him. The other party, a mere monk with the second level of princes, said that he could kill the king of a sacred tree. That was simply a big joke. How could he believe it? Yes, just me. Qin Feng stood in the void and killed the king of the sacred tree. It was not something worth showing off to him. After all, it was just a small matter. When King Liang saw that Qin Feng's eyes were not lying, his eyes gradually became serious. He looked at Qin Feng carefully, wanting to see if the other party was an old antique who had deliberately hidden his cultivation. However, everything tells him that the other person is what he seems on the surface. He shrouded Qin Feng's body with his soul and found that the other party's soul mark was less than 20 years old. He was indeed a young man and his cultivation was not fake. He was sure that the other party was definitely joking. However, making a joke about a great and accomplished king like him is simply like a birthday girl who hangs himself because he is dissatisfied with his long life and is looking for death. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 804. Swish. King Li Yang made a move instantly. He captured a young man from afar. This powerful method was just like catching a chick. It was effortless. The young cultivator of the second level of the feudal lords was brought close by King Li Yang, but he had no room to resist and could only tremble in panic. Do you think this kid is telling the truth? King Li Yang stared at the cultivator. If the other party dared to hesitate for a moment, he would kill him in mid-air. The young man was able to become a cultivator of the second level of the feudal lords. His qualifications were also extremely strong, but in front of King Li Yang, he could not raise any resistance. He nodded hurriedly, trembling all over, and nodded his head like a chicken pecking at rice, fearing that he would offend King Li Yang and have his head torn apart. After making sure that the other party was not lying, King Li Yang threw it directly out. With a bang, the young cultivator hit a big tree directly, breaking the tree on the spot. This was definitely an unprovoked disaster for the young cultivator, but facing the ancient Holy Land, he dared to be angry but dared not speak, and could only flee far away. The young man secretly made up his mind that he would never watch the incident again and would not be a spectator. After learning that it was indeed Qin Feng who destroyed the king of the divine tree and obtained the fairy flower, King Li Yang did not retreat at all. The young man in front of him actually had such an attitude, which really shocked him. The other party could become a strong man in the vassal domain at such a young age, and could fight against the king of the divine tree. His qualifications were indeed extraordinary. However, this made him suspect that the information that Venerable Luo gave him at the beginning was wrong. The king of the divine tree was probably not as terrible as Venerable Luo and others described. Boy, have you seen the cultivators from Luo Pavilion? King Liang had no intention of fighting Qin Feng for the time being, but was concerned about the news of Luo and others. After all, after he, the dignified King Liang, came here, Luo, Lishan and others did not show up, which made him very suspicious. Are you talking about the middle-aged cultivator who just fought with the king of divine wood? Of course I have seen him. Qin Feng's mouth curved into a cold arc. He held the Kaishan stone axe in his hand and did not take King Liang seriously at all. Although King Liang's cultivation was as high as the 5th level of the king and he was a divine body, the Kaishan stone axe had the power of more than an hour. Qin Feng killed the king of divine wood in just a few minutes. King Liang's eyes stood up when he heard the words, and his body was full of blazing light. He was sure that the so-called middle-aged cultivator Qin Feng mentioned must be the Luo Venerable of their Luo pavilion. His disciple Li Tian was also with Venerable Luo. It was possible that the other party was gone, otherwise he would not have appeared at this moment. At this moment, after learning the news about Venerable Luo Pavilion and others from Qin Feng, he used his powerful soul to scan the field and found the unique attributes of their Luo Pavilion. Moreover, he found the armor fragments on Venerable Luo Pavilion from the ground, which made him know that Venerable Luo's trip was probably dangerous. At this time, King Li Yang's heart moved, and he felt that he had grasped the core of the incident. Venerable Luo must have severely injured the King of Divine Wood in the battle with the King of Divine Wood, and died on the spot because of the serious injury. As for the King of Divine Wood, he was restrained by their Luo Pavilion's skills, resulting in a spent force, and was picked up by the kid in front of him. It must be like this. Boy, since the King of the Divine Tree and our Luo Pavilion's Venerable died together, then the fairy flower you got naturally belongs to my Luo Pavilion. At this moment, King Liang stopped talking nonsense. He signaled Li Luan and others to retreat for the time being. If the boy in front of him did not hand over the fairy flower jade marrow, he decided to kill him directly and take it himself. When Qin Feng heard this, he looked at King Liang as if he was looking at a fool, with a trace of mocking smile on the corner of his mouth, and said, "Old thing, are you stupid? Who the hell told you that it was your Venerable of Luo Pavilion who died with the King of the Divine Tree? Boy, you can't hurt the King of the Divine Tree with your strength alone. You must have taken advantage of it. Hurry up and hand over the jade marrow fairy flower, and I can consider sparing your life." King Liang's face was completely gloomy. He just wanted to make this hat real, so that he could get the fairy flower jade marrow legitimately. As for the King of the Divine Tree, whether it was injured by the Luo Pavilion or not, it was not that important to him. All he wanted was a carelessness, an excuse, as long as he could get the jade marrow immortal flower, and spread his reputation, so that his own strength would increase greatly, it would be a great success. "Just you, a joke, can you block my move?" Qin Feng curled his lips, not taking the Liang King in front of him seriously at all. The Luo Venerable and the King of the Divine Tree died together, and it was really thanks to this old guy that he could associate so well. The Luo Venerable was obviously killed by his own slap, and as for the King of the Divine Tree, he was also wiped out by himself. The Liang King said this just to find a point of entry. But what can he do? For Qin Feng, he didn't care about the Luo Pavilion at all. "Young man, you are too arrogant." Hearing this, the Liang King's face was as gloomy as water. He didn't expect that the young man in front of him was so ignorant and didn't take him seriously, which made him angry. Buzz. As King Li Yang's voice fell, a red light bloomed on his body. As a great king and a divine body, his power was unimaginable. Not far away, Li Luan was stunned. She looked at Qin Feng floating in the air and felt incredible. The young man in front of her, no matter how extraordinary he was, could not be compared with Li Yang Wang, the deputy pavilion master of Luo Pavilion. The wisest choice was for him to take the initiative to admit his mistakes. And now, the choice made by this person really made her not know what to say. This was tantamount to seeking death. "Uncle Master, wait a moment, why don't you let me persuade him?" At this time, Li Luan moved. She came to the field, blocking Qin Feng and Li Yang Wang. In her opinion, if Qin Feng didn't know what was good for him, he would be killed by his uncle. Since the first time she saw him, she had an inexplicable liking for him. If he was killed by her master, it would be a pity. What's more, she wanted to see such a scene that could prevent Li Yang Wang from getting what he wanted in public. "Niece, what's there to say about a mere trash?" A cold light flashed in the eyes of King Li Yang. He did not advocate talking nonsense with Qin Feng. However, Li Luan was the daughter of the pavilion master of Luo Pavilion. Even he could not ignore the other party's proposal. He complained and stopped the killing move that was about to be made. Li Luan had a hot body, crystal-like skin, white teeth, and a beautiful face. It was obvious that she was not an ordinary person. In her beautiful eyes, a little bit of brilliance bloomed. She moved from the void and came to Qin Feng in the blink of an eye. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fa Shi. Chapter 805. Sir, you may not have heard of my uncle's name. He is King Liang of the Nanling Holy Land. His strength is unfathomable. I suggest you not to anger him. Li Luan was suspended in mid-air, with a faint divine glow surging around her body, making her figure extremely dazzling and divine. Her cultivation is so powerful that it reaches the 9th level of the princes. Although she is not very old, she is already on par with some of the elders. Moreover, among the countless monks in the Holy Land of Nanling, she was able to stand out, which is enough to show that this person is a genius that can only be found among tens of millions of people. Girl, I appreciate your kindness. Although I have never heard of King Liang, I am not afraid of him. Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air and smiled slightly. He could feel that the other party had really good intentions and came to persuade him. He clearly felt the wisp of murderous intent that flashed across King Liang just now, and he thought that wisp of murderous intent was directed at him. However, with the help of his fiery eyes and powerful divine soul perception, he learned that the murderous intention was actually caused by King Li Yang towards Li Luan. This made him think. He suspected that although they came together, they didn't seem to be from the same faction. For it. After listening to Qin Feng's words, Li Luan was slightly stunned. She thought that as long as the other party was not a fool, he should have heard of the name of King Li Yang of Nanling Holy Land. The other party is very young. Unlike many older living fossils, the other party loves to show off and often walks around the world. Moreover, King Liang can be seen at all major events. As a powerful man in the ancient Holy Land, his reputation is very resounding in the entire Nanling. It is impossible for some disciples of big forces not to have heard of the name of King Liang. The young man in front of her actually said that she had never heard of King Liang, which really shocked her. Brother, my uncle's cultivation is as high as a 5th grade king. I'm here to persuade you. It's really for your own good. Li Luan did not speak at this time, but sent a message to Qin Feng. In her opinion, she was saving the other party's life, but the other party was so ungrateful, which was beyond her expectation. I know you mean well, but I'm really not afraid of your uncle. If you knew what I did, I'm afraid you would feel guilty for coming to persuade me at this time. Qin Feng helplessly stood by the stall owner. He was indeed not afraid of King Liang. Even if the other party's cultivation reached the 9th level of the king, he didn't care. Moreover, the little girl in front of her looked like a silly Badian who was not in harmony with the world. After letting the other party know that she was responsible for destroying Lord Luo Lishan and others, she would probably feel ashamed of the decision she had made. Guilt. How could it be? In fact, I came to advise you for many reasons. First, I can't bear to have you killed by my uncle, and I don't want your chalcedony to fall into my uncle's hands and increase his strength. Li Luan was suspended in mid-air and was very speechless. Her uncle, King Li Yang, and her father were not from the same faction. For some days, King Li Yang was ready to make a move and wanted to overturn the entire Li Fire Pavilion. Moreover, the other party is secretly contacting the elders in GE Pavilion. If more than half of the people support him, he may become the next pavilion master of Luo Pavilion. And she, the heir to the ancient Holy Land, is afraid that she will be kicked out of the management from now on. Moreover, this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that once the chalcedony falls into the hands of King Li Yang, his strength will be greatly increased. I am afraid that even her father will not be able to be the opponent of King Liang by then. This is also the reason why she rushed here immediately after knowing that King Liang was coming. If the chalcedony was obtained by Li Luan first, then King Li Yang would not be able to snatch it away from her in front of everyone because of his face. At this moment, if Qin Feng directly handed over the immortal chalcedony to her, it would be a double success. At that time, King Liang could only suffer the loss of being dumb. He was also a member of Luo Pavilion, and the other party was too embarrassed to ask for it in front of everyone. However, if the opponent is killed by King Liang, it will be different if he gets it again. King Liang is a strong man. Once the chalcedony is in his hands, how can he give it up again? After King Li Yang refines the energy of chalcedony, he will definitely pose a great threat to her position as heir. Well, so you don't have to deal with this Liang King. Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air, with a look of understanding on his face. It seemed that the girl in front of him did not belong to the same faction as King Li Yang. The other party came to stop him because he did not want the immortal chalcedony to fall into the hands of King Li Yang. Yes, that's it. If you give me the fairy chalcedony in front of everyone, I will secretly promise you a big reward. That way you can not only save your life, but also minimize your losses. When Li Luan saw Qin Feng's appearance, he thought Qin Feng was moved, so he revealed his plans. After all, with the other prince's cultivation level, let alone King Liang's departure, she believed that the other party was not even her opponent. If you resist blindly, you will only lose your life. It is better to give up the chalcedony first and get some rewards. Girl, to tell you the truth, I did kill the king of divine trees, and your venerable Luo Pavilion also died in my hands. Qin Feng said that he would not stop until he was shocked. He stared into Li Luan's eyes, with a hint of intimidation in his eyes. This girl in front of him simply lacks the beating of society, and he feels that he needs to teach her a lesson. Really? Li Luan was obviously shocked when she heard this, and she even forgot to transmit the message, and she blurted it out directly. When the voice fell, Li Luan immediately realized that she had lost her composure, and she laughed dryly twice to cover up the shock on her face. It is true. At this moment, Qin Feng did not transmit the message to Li Luan, and the two of them directly played dumb. Such words, to the ears of others, seemed that Qin Feng and the two of them had secretly reached some kind of resolution. That's really great. At this moment, Li Luan Wan'er smiled, and a smile bloomed on her face, and the whole sky became bright. The Luo Venerable was the most staunch supporter of King Li Yang. He actually died in Qin Feng's hands. This was a great benefit for her as the heir. I didn't expect that the young man in front of me had such means. This was really a pleasant surprise. For their ancient holy land, the loss of Luo Venerable, although it would make them feel a little painful, was nothing. And being able to suppress the strength of King Li Yang was the biggest benefit for her as the heir. At this time, after confirming that Qin Feng had the means to kill the great accomplishment king, Li Luan had an amazing idea in her mind, and this matter might be used. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fa. Chapter 806. Li Luan had a plan in mind. If Qin Feng really had the strength to crush the great accomplished king, he might be able to survive from the hands of King Li Yang. She sent a message to Qin Feng, saying, I have a way to resolve the rift between you two and create opportunities for you. King Li Yang is an elder after all. As long as he is given enough face, he will never take the initiative to attack. Well, okay, then I'll listen to you this time. Qin Feng's white Taoist robe fluttered, he was suspended in the air, looking calm and composed. He really wanted to see what good ideas this girl in front of him could come up with. After getting Qin Feng's answer, Li Luan fell back to King Li Yang's side. She smiled at King Li Yang and said, "Uncle Master, as an elder, if you bully a young man like this, it will be laughed at if it gets out." Some of the monks who came with the two of them also nodded subconsciously when they heard the words. As a powerful person in the ancient Holy Land, King Li Yang, a living fossil, would be a bit unreasonable if he bullied a young cultivator in the realm of a vassal. What do you think should be done about this? King Li Yang was suspended in the air. He didn't understand what the other party was thinking. However, in his opinion, any means were useless in the face of absolute strength. He was fearless and didn't care. "Uncle Master, as a powerful senior in the ancient Holy Land, you took the initiative to attack a junior, which was a bit bullying. It's better to let the other party hit you 3 times. If the other party can repel you by chance, then the matter is over. If you win, then he will willingly give you the chalcedony. In this way, you can get the chalcedony and show the noble character of our ancient Holy Land, not to use power to oppress others." Li Luan's eyes bloomed with a little brilliance. King Li Yang was born in the ancient Holy Land, with enough background, and his strength was unfathomable, which posed a great threat to her status. If the other party could be seriously injured in this incident, it would be a great opportunity for her. Even if the young man failed, the impact on her could be minimized, not to mention that the young man vowed to kill the great accomplishment king. Since this matter can be used, why not do it? Okay, this king agrees. King Li Yang nodded upon hearing this. He was suspended in the air, with a gleam in his eyes, staring at Qin Feng not far away. He was determined to get the chalcedony, and he didn't take the little cultivator in the realm of the princes in front of him seriously. In itself, he acted domineeringly and unscrupulously. Even some elders in the Holy Land did not dare to be presumptuous in front of him. He attached great importance to his reputation in the ears of outsiders. After all, in order to secure the position of the Holy Lord of Luo Pavilion in the future, he naturally could not end up with a bad reputation of bullying others with power, so he readily agreed. In his opinion, he was a king body, and was in the realm of a 5th-grade king. Not only could the opponent not break his defense, but he would even be shaken by the recoil force, breaking his bones and tendons, so he didn't care at all. Qin Feng, who was not far away, heard this and curled his lips. Although the physical body of King Li Yang was unparalleled and stronger than that of the Luo Venerable, Qin Feng really didn't take him seriously. If the opponent took the initiative to attack, it might pose some threat to him. If the opponent stood still and resisted his attack, there would not even be any bone residue left. This would save him some effort, which was really worthwhile. In that case, I would rather obey than respect. Qin Feng smiled slightly. He moved his body in an instant and came to King Li Yang. His fiery eyes could see the dense divine patterns on King Li Yang's body. The opponent's bloodline power was very strong. Moreover, the body blessed by King Li Yang's divine patterns made his defense extremely strong. Unfortunately, those who resisted Qin Feng's attack all ended up in a miserable way, and King Li Yang was probably no exception. Boy, there are so many fellow cultivators around to testify, I hope you don't break your promise. King Li Yang landed on a mountain in the void, his face was very gloomy. If the other party didn't know what to do after the matter was over, he didn't mind throwing all the bones of the other party. Of course, a gentleman's word is as good as a horse. Qin Feng smiled slightly, and a cold light flashed in the depths of his eyes. Since he had such a simple way to solve the problem, he was happy to help the other party. Buzz. At this moment, a brilliant golden light bloomed on King Li Yang's body, and the golden light was engraved with the king's rune, which blessed his body defense, like a golden Buddha. Boom! In an instant, Qin Feng made a move. He stepped on the thunder step and instantly appeared in front of King Li Yang, and punched out. At this moment, Qin Feng's fist was filled with the light of the moon and the sun, and Kunpeng's nine heavens movement was instantly unleashed by Qin Feng, with earth-shaking power. However, this punch was not blessed by the 9 prohibitions. Qin Feng just wanted to paralyze the opponent, so that when he performed the next 2 punches, the opponent would be less concerned. Boom! This punch instantly shattered the void and hit King Li Yang fiercely. King Li Yang looked at the moves Qin Feng had made, and a hint of mockery appeared in his eyes. He could feel that this punch seemed grand and sacred, but its combat power was not as terrifying as he had imagined, and it could not break his defense. Dang! Sure enough, a shocking sound came, and Kunpeng's 9 heavens movement collided with King Li Yang. King Li Yang's body remained motionless, and even the protective light did not fluctuate. This punch might be able to defeat the strong in the vassal realm, but it was not enough for King Li Yang. Not far away, Li Luan saw this scene, and her mouth trembled. At first, when she saw Qin Feng vowed that he could kill the king cultivator, she believed it in her heart. But at this time, after seeing that the other party's punch did not even break the protective light shield of King Li Yang, her heart instantly fell to the bottom. In her opinion, Qin Feng was just bragging, and he did not have the strength to kill the great king, which made her plan completely fall through. When she thought that after the matter was over, the jade would fall into the hands of King Li Yang, she felt extremely irritated. The other party looked very confident, but why was his combat power only at this level? This really made her very uncomfortable. Countless people watching from afar were stunned by this scene. The scene of Qin Feng killing the king of the divine tree was still in their eyes. This scene was beyond their expectations. Window. Tabula equals window. Tabula. Tabula.push, mode, thumbspeed -01, container, tabula below article thumbnail -300x250, placement, below article thumbnail -300x250, target. Type, mix. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 807. I'll go, isn't this brother wilted? Let me just say that the power he used to kill the king of divine trees just now is unreasonable. Obviously, that scene is similar to a mad state. At this moment, he has fallen into a mad state, so his combat effectiveness has dropped. In the distance, some monks were talking a lot. They thought they understood all the reasons, and they all felt calm at this moment. If Qin Feng had been in such a high-intensity state of retrograde slaying, such a scene would truly be beyond their understanding. But the performance of this punch at this moment is in line with people's understanding. Haha, that's it? King Liang sneered. On his body, the king's runes shone, which made his body indestructible. Qin Feng's attack did not break his defense at all. How is that possible? Qin Feng's face showed an extremely shocked look, as if he was shocked by this scene, which seemed extremely incredible. You can't do that, kid. Luo King shook his finger and said sarcastically that as a dignified 5th grade king, he did not use all his strength at all. It was a joke that the opponent's princes had 2 levels of strength and wanted to break through his defense. I don't believe it. Qin Feng showed an extremely unwilling look, which made King Li Huo look even more disdainful. Some young monks think that by chance, they can leapfrog and defeat some strong men, and they are confident. However, they do not know that this is the easiest way to lose their self-confidence. You must know that the gap between the king and the princes is like the bright moon leaping over the fireflies. It would be unreasonable if someone from the realm of princes could break through the king's defense. Buzz. Qin Feng moved, and he punched out again. This time he still used Kunpeng to move the 9 heavens, but his cultivation was indeed fully activated, reaching the 4th level of the princes. The power of this move seemed to be exactly the same as before, and King Liang looked at the huge fist in the void with a sneer on his lips. He thought that his guess was indeed good. The opponent did hide his cultivation, but the fighting power of the 4th level princes still couldn't break through his defense. After all, the strong men in the realm of kings form a crushing posture against the monks of the princes. The coercion alone is enough to suppress the opponent to the point of being unable to move. Even the king's counter-attack force was too strong for the powerful men in the princes' realms to bear, causing their bones to break and their tendons to break. This time, King Liang was not prepared to stand still and resist. The king runes on his body sent ripples one after another, and the force of the counter-attack expanded and swept towards Qin Feng. Although it seemed to outsiders that King Liang was still standing there without moving, the force of his body's independent counter-attack could already kill ordinary monks. However, when he saw that King Liang was still resisting calmly, Qin Feng showed a sneer at the corner of his mouth. Under his piercing eyes, when the king runes on King Liang swept out, he stood up in an instant. Injubanjuidian. With the blessing of the 9 forbiddens, Qin Feng's Kunpeng moves in the 9 heavens. With the blessing of nearly 100 times the energy, a huge Kunpeng swoops down, and its power surges instantly. Call out. This punch broke through the space, causing ripples to spread across the heaven and earth. King Li Yang was shocked. He finally felt something was wrong. The power of Qin Feng's punch was dozens of times more powerful than before. However, since King Liang underestimated the enemy from the beginning, it was too late for him to strengthen his defense. He could only let the king's runes interweave on his body to resist Qin Feng's murderous intention. Boom! Between the lightning and stone fire, a metallic trembling sound came, and Qin Feng's Kunpeng moved for 9 days and bombarded King Liang. With a click, the protective light shield on King Liang was instantly smashed by Qin Feng. At the same time, his body was punched by Qin Feng and flew into the air. He fell back thousands of meters and hit a big mountain. The whole valley was shaking. Puff! Among the rocks, King Liang opened his mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. For a moment, his face was like gold paper. One can imagine how terrifying the bombardment was. Hiss. Countless monks nearby were in an uproar, and many people gasped. This scene was really shocking. The majestic king of the Luo Pavilion in the ancient Holy Land, who specializes in the divine body and is invincible in the physical body, was actually blown away by a punch. Such a scene was like a dream, it was too unreal. Li Luan also stood blankly on the spot, and King Li Yang was blasted away, which was beyond her expectation. One moment, she thought Qin Feng was bragging, but the next moment, King Liang was blown away and went out. This scene that made her feel like a roller coaster really made her nervous. Let me go, what on earth is going on? Does the secret technique used by that young man have no sequelae? Countless monks were talking about it. Such a scene was beyond their expectations and made people horrified. King Liang of the ancient Holy Land was the long-established king of Daqin, and the other party was actually blown away. Such a scene really exceeded their cognition. Brush. From the belly of the mountain, King Liang crawled out. He was suspended in mid-air, releasing cold murderous intent from his whole body. Such a scene undoubtedly made him lose face, and he was completely knocked down. After all, he was a strong man in the ancient Holy Land. It was so embarrassing to be blasted out by an unknown person, which made him lose face. More importantly, he admitted Li Luan's proposal in front of everyone, so there is no doubt that he is now defeated, and the Jade Marrow Immortal Flower will miss him. Good boy, now I admit that you do have the ability to defeat the King of the Divine Tree. King Li Yang's face was cold, and he released murderous intent all over his body. He was blown away in front of everyone. This was humiliating, but he was determined to get this Jade Marrow, and it was impossible for him to watch it fly away from him. Because this immortal flower Jade Marrow can improve his realm, increase his voice in Luo Pavilion, and allow his strength to reach a higher level. Whether I can kill the king of the divine tree, I still need your approval, which is ridiculous. Qin Feng's face showed a trace of sarcasm. His own Kunpeng moved the sky, with dozens of times and nearly 100 times the energy blessing, so King Li Yang naturally couldn't stop it. He didn't need 3 punches at all, just 2 punches would have decided the outcome. If he used the critical stone at the beginning, he could solve all the battles with 1 move. Although he was defeated, King Li Yang would not watch the jadeite slip away from him. Boy, if you say so, you killed the king of the divine tree, then you are also responsible for the death of Venerable Luo. At this moment, King Li Yang's eyes suddenly burst out with cold light, and the killing intent on his body was instantly released, covering Qin Feng's body. The power of the king sealed the field. He decided that as long as the news that Qin Feng killed Venerable Luo was confirmed, he would have sufficient reason to kill Qin Feng. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 808. At this moment, Li Luan, who was far away, wanted to stop him, but it was too late. The pressure shield of King Li Yang fell on Qin Feng's body, imprisoning his body, and blocking the words he was about to speak, so that they could not be transmitted. Such a scene made Qin Feng slightly stunned. This King Li Yang was too shameless. Then, Qin Feng outlined a trace of sneer. He didn't take the King Li Yang in front of him seriously at all. What's more, the venerable Li Huo did die in his hands, and King Li Yang was right to say so. Boom! King Li Yang attacked brazenly, his blood and qi bloomed all over his body, and the king's aura intertwined above his head. The terrible Li Huo covered the sky and the sun, making everyone present feel his terror and deterrence. King Li Yang let out a long roar. He no longer passively resisted, but fought with full strength. His cultivation reached the peak of the 5th grade king, and the cold killing intent was released, sweeping across the sky. Countless cultivators present were terrified when they heard the roar of King Li Yang. Some cultivators knelt on the ground and trembled, unable to bear such pressure. I want to avenge the venerable of Luo Pavilion. I will kill anyone who dares to stop me. King Li Yang was furious. He was fighting at full strength. As he moved his footsteps, the valley was shaken. The terrifying pressure made the space shake. Obviously, the purpose of King Li Yang's words was to shock Li Luan. He saw that Li Lan wanted to keep Qin Feng, and what he had to do was to prevent Li Luan from getting what she wanted. Moreover, if Li Luan took the initiative to stand up at this moment, it would seem too ignorant, and she would disregard the reputation of their Luo Pavilion. As for the life of Venerable Luo, if it were spread out, it would shock Luo Pavilion. Li Luan was dumbfounded at this moment. She didn't expect Qin Feng to actually injure King Li Yang, and she didn't expect King Li Yang to be so angry that he didn't give Qin Feng a chance to argue and would intensify his attack. Boom! The world was trembling. King Li Yang was covered in fire, as if he had turned into a fire god. He came towards Qin Feng with a slam. This palm shattered the world and made everyone in the distance gasp. As expected of a living fossil of the ancient Holy Land, it's really terrifying. This kind of king-level Holy Land master is really too terrifying, and his power is unimaginable. This young man is probably in danger. The cultivators were discussing constantly. Qin Feng was in the midst of King Li Yang's divine power and looked extremely dangerous. Qin Feng stood in the field, facing the slam from King Li Yang. His face was surprisingly calm. Although King Li Yang's pressure enveloped him, it couldn't restrain his movements at all. At the moment when King Li Yang's palm was about to strike, Qin Feng stepped on the thunder and walked, and in an instant, he got rid of King Li Yang's force. At the same time, the immovable light shield covered Qin Feng's body, and the immovable God King, under the blessing of the 9 Forbidden, bloomed terrible ripples, and his defense reached the peak. At this moment, Qin Feng's defense can only be described as terrifying. He waved his palm, Kunpeng moved the 9 heavens, and simply collided with King Li Yang's palm head-on, without any fancy. Boom! The void was trembling wildly, this punch and palm were like thunder in the sky, and the energy was intertwined in the void, and the power was earth-shaking. Everyone present was extremely shocked. They didn't expect that Qin Feng would dare to confront King Li Yang head-on. You know, King Li Yang is a living fossil of the ancient Holy Land, and his flesh is even comparable to the immortal sword, especially the opponent is specialized in flesh shell. There are very few cultivators in this world who can confront him head-on. All this happened in a blink of an eye. Qin Feng's Kunpeng moved the 9 heavens, and under the blessing of the 9 forbiddens, the energy blessing was dozens of times, and the power was earth-shattering. In an instant, it broke the fist of King Li Yang, and the terrible pressure caused King Li Yang's body to be shaken away and flipped thousands of meters away in the void. At the same time, Qin Feng stepped on the thunder step, like a shadow, and came to King Li Yang in the blink of an eye, and then chopped with the stone axe in his hand. Swish! At this moment, King Li Yang was shocked and pale. He found that Qin Feng was shrouded by a huge phantom, which seemed to have the power to cut the sky and destroy the earth, and wanted to destroy all the defenses on his body. Just when this thought flashed through King Li Yang's heart, he fell into darkness forever, and he couldn't even scream. His countless monks were all stunned. They stood there, not knowing how to describe what they saw. The dignified Li Yang, king of the ancient Holy Land, a figure who had been famous in the world for hundreds of years, just completely turned into dust and disappeared. This was beyond people's cognition and could only be described as terrifying. Even Li Luan was also messy in the wind. She stood in the air like a clay sculpture or a wooden sculpture, with her mouth opened into an O shape, looking completely unbelievable. She originally just wanted Qin Feng to dampen the power of Li Yang King, but she didn't expect that she would succeed in one fell swoop and solve all the subsequent troubles. The Li Yang King, who was second only to the pavilion master in the Liwo pavilion of the ancient Holy Land and posed a threat to her, the future pavilion master, just turned into dust and disappeared. At the place where Li Yang King died, a star gold scratch card appeared. Qin Feng walked up and scratched the star gold scratch card. He got tens of thousands of top-grade god-cultivating pills, which were not so precious to Qin Feng, and could not even compare to chalcedony. It was a pity that the other party was a living fossil of the ancient Holy Land, but he was so unbearable, and the reward was too ordinary. After doing all this, Qin Feng ignored the people around him. He took Lan Yu, Zhou Qing'er, Suzaku and others away from here and disappeared into the distance. Only all the cultivators were left in a daze. When Li Luan came to her senses and wanted to find Qin Feng again, she found that Qin Feng had already disappeared here. At this moment, Li Luan had decided in her heart that she could not be an enemy of Qin Feng no matter what. This person was too amazing. With such qualifications, he was definitely not an unknown person in the entire ancient continent. For some reason, an amazing idea appeared in her mind. She suddenly remembered that the birthday of the Saint Lord of the ancient Qin clan was coming soon. The abandoned son of the Qin clan who joined the Suzaku Holy Land was said to have come to the East region, and the other party might have also come to the secret realm. When she thought of the other party's style of doing things, which was very similar to that of the young man, a few words suddenly appeared in her mind: Qin Feng, the holy son of the Suzaku Holy Land. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 809. Soon after, Qin Feng and his companions came to a valley, where Qin Feng used his fire eyes and golden pupils to find that this valley was a place where the earth veins converged. Such a beautiful place with clear water and mountains was very suitable for him to refine weapons. For this trip to the secret realm, he obtained a golden sword embryo, which he could use to refine weapons and further improve the quality of the absolute immortal sword. After arriving here, with the protection of the dragon horse and the holy beast white elephant, Qin Feng took out his Ruyi palace. Others rested in the palace, while Qin Feng came to the valley outside the palace and took out his purple gold bagua furnace. He used the Phoenix Divine Flame in the valley to ignite the purple gold bagua furnace. As the bagua furnace bloomed instantly, the gorgeous rays of light here became bright and crystal clear. As Qin Feng thought, the absolute immortal sword was placed in the purple gold bagua furnace by him. There was a terrifying energy released on the immortal sword, and the runes were densely covered on it, which was very solid. If you want to melt the Juexian sword, it is an extremely difficult thing. Qin Feng has the most mysterious Phoenix Divine Flame in the world. It was only after using it for an hour that the Juexian sword was able to melt. Buzz. As Qin Feng continued to use the Phoenix Divine Flame, finally, the Juexian sword began to deform and turned red. At this moment, Qin Feng took out the golden immortal sword embryo and placed it in the purple gold bagua furnace. The golden Xia sword embryo was engraved with runes and looked very extraordinary. As the Juexian sword turned into an irregular shape and combined with the golden immortal sword embryo, the sword suddenly looked even more extraordinary. This golden immortal sword embryo is extremely precious. Although it is a golden immortal sword embryo, its origin is extremely mysterious. It is a weapon spirit embryo born between heaven and earth, and it is an innate spiritual treasure. There are not many found in the entire ancient continent, and Qin Feng's system rewarded one. No matter how you think about it, this trip to the secret realm is a great harvest. As the absolute immortal sword and the golden immortal sword embryo merged, Qin Feng continued to use the Phoenix Divine Flame, pinched the sword formula, and began to refine. Now, he has a very strong level of refining, but even so, if he wants to refine this golden immortal grade sword, he will have to spend countless time and divine power. Finally, after 4 hours, the immortal sword in the purple gold bagua made a series of sword sounds. Qin Feng's mind moved, and the immortal sword floated in the air, breaking through the purple gold bagua. So far, the immortal sword was finally sacrificed by Qin Feng. He looked at the immortal sword floating in the air, shining brightly, and was in a good mood. Swish! Qin Feng's mind moved, and the immortal sword slashed in the air under his mind. Swish! Suddenly, a sword chant sounded between heaven and earth. Just a casual swing, the sword light flew thousands of meters away, splitting a mountain on the spot. Such a scene immediately alarmed the people who were resting in the Ruyi Palace. They came outside the palace and were stunned when they saw the collapsed mountain in the distance. Qin Feng had just finished refining the weapon. Just a sword energy swung out, and it cut a mountain apart. It was really too powerful. Ding, congratulations to the host. With the blessing of Pangu bloodline, the weapon refining has reached a higher level. The Juexian sword has evolved into a lower grade fairy weapon of the golden immortal, the Zhanxian sword. As the system's prompt sounded, the Juexian sword evolved into a lower grade fairy weapon of the golden immortal, and its power became even more powerful. Listening to the system's prompt sound, Qin Feng's face was full of joy. He waved his hand to put away the purple gold bagua road and walked into the Ruyi Palace. The movement caused here naturally alarmed countless cultivators, but when those cultivators came nearby and saw a sacred beast white elephant in the field, they did not dare to stay for long and fled to the distant sky. After resting enough in the palace and recovering his divine power, Qin Feng started to refine the elixir. He used countless spiritual medicines to refine a large number of high-quality spiritual pills, so he began to swallow spiritual pills to improve his realm. And in his spare time, he also began to instruct Zhou Qing'er, Zuck, and others in their cultivation. During this trip to the secret realm, Qin Feng obtained countless jade marrows and pills. Under his guidance, Zhou Qing'er, Zuck, and others' cultivation rose steadily. A few days later, after Qin Feng refined the jade marrow fairy tree, his cultivation stood firmly at the 6th level of the Lords. This was an extremely amazing scene. When Qin Feng fought with the Luo Venerable and the King of the Divine Tree, his cultivation was raised to the 4th level of the lords. At that time, everyone thought that Qin Feng used a secret method to forcibly improve his combat effectiveness. In just a few days, Qin Feng stood at the 6th level of the lords. This scene amazed people. If it was spread out, I am afraid no one would believe it. Now, when Qin Feng was preparing to refine the fairy flower jade marrow, he found that the energy of the fairy flower jade marrow was useless to him. Such a scene made Qin Feng helpless. As expected, some immortal medicines and spiritual medicines, after being refined by Qin Feng, can indeed help him improve his realm. Yes, so it will make his body resistant to drugs, and when he continues to use the essence of the same quality, there will be no effect. Although he was extremely helpless, Qin Feng had no choice, so he contributed the immortal flower jade marrow to help Shang Qian improve her realm. This time, Qin Feng also obtained some other jade marrows. Although they cannot be compared with the immortal wood jade marrow and the immortal flower jade marrow, they are enough to allow the strong in the vassal realm and even the phaseless realm to advance. Of course, for a cultivator with a relatively low realm like Zhou Qing'er, forcibly refining jade marrow may cause a great burden on the body, and Qin Feng naturally has a way. He used countless pills to refine the jade, condense it into pills, and then distributed it to everyone. Under the protection of him and Longma, everyone began to practice in seclusion. 7 days later, Shang Qian successfully refined the fairy jade and became a first-grade great king. When Shang Qian broke through the air, the terrifying pressure instantly shook the valley. Shang Qian became the first human strongman to break through the realm of princes beside Qin Feng. At this time, Shang Qian undoubtedly became the first person under Longma. Her combat power evolved brilliantly and became one of Qin Feng's biggest helpers. And Yecheng Chen also came out of seclusion with the help of Qin Feng, and became a strong man in the 7th heaven of the princes. And Zuck also entered the realm of princes, only Zhou Qing'er only touched the threshold of the 9th heaven of Wuxiang. Although Zhou Qing'er did not keep up with their pace, in this secret realm, she had many fairy swords and magic weapons given to her by Qin Feng, which was enough for self-defense. After doing all this, Qin Feng and his companions prepared to leave. After touring this secret realm, they planned to go to Kandi City in the East region to attend the Holy Lord's Grand Meeting and discuss the attack on the Killer Divine Dynasty. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 810. After leaving this valley, Qin Feng and the others prepared to visit the core of the 2nd level of the secret realm. According to the indigenous people here, the sacred beast Bai Xiang, there is a terrifying sacred tree in the core area of the 2nd layer of the sacred tree secret realm. It was seriously injured because it was injured by the Shenmue Demon King and had no choice but to escape to the 1st floor. There are 9 fairy flowers around the sacred tree Demon King, one of which is terrifying to the extreme. If it can be directly refined, it is possible to break through the king's realm and reach the legendary existence. This kind of news naturally attracted the attention of Qin Feng and the others. If they could get that fairy flower, they would greatly increase their strength. Even if they couldn't get it, it would be good to learn more about it. Soon, Qin Feng and others arrived at the 2nd center of the secret realm. There are 9 mountains guarding here, and the mountains surround it like a long dragon, turning into a large formation here, gathering the essence of heaven and earth. As Qin Feng and the others approached, the place was filled with brilliance and countless auspicious auras steaming up. It was an extremely gorgeous and beautiful place. This is the center of the 2nd level of the secret realm. Countless powerful people gather here. The chalcedony surrounding the divine tree Demon King is really attractive. So when the news here spread, many living fossils in the Holy Land could no longer sit still and rushed towards the 2nd level of this secret realm. At this time, thousands of monks have gathered here, including many Dachan kings, the most powerful group of existences in the world. Those people had not left the mountain for a long time, but the fairy Chalcedony in this secret realm completely attracted them. Qin Feng and others initially estimated that there were dozens of Dachan kings here. It is conceivable that many living fossil figures in the Holy Land could not sit still, so they all gathered in this secret realm. The Chalcedony that made them all attracted would be so extraordinary. Roar! There was a big earthquake in the valley. There was a great king who couldn't help but start to take action. The king's talismans were intertwined all over his body, and the magic sword fell towards the valley, overwhelming the sky and the earth. Countless monks in the distant sky were all stunned. Unexpectedly, they had become a king again, and finally couldn't help but start to take action. Such power shocked the world and made people cry. "Master, are we going to join the war too?" At this time, the dragon horse on the side said that it saw those kings, all ready to move, and it also wanted the Chalcedony in the valley very much, so it asked. In its view, with the wealth obsession of its owner, he would definitely want to take action. "Why are you panicking? Let's take a look first. Wouldn't it be better if we could sit on the mountain and watch the fight between tigers and tigers?" Qin Feng was suspended in mid-air, staring at the movement in the valley. He was ready to see the situation before talking. Because, just in the few minutes he came here, he discovered many great kings, and their strength was extremely terrifying. It can be seen from this that the Chalcedony in the valley is so touching. Similarly, with so many masters taking action, even if he encounters it, he may not be able to escape unscathed. "Humans, you all miss my Chalcedony. Do you want to die?" At this time, a low shout came from the center of the valley. The Shenmue Demon King was quite domineering, and its branches danced like a dragon in the sky around it, facing all the kings in no way inferior. "Demon King, God has the virtue of good life. You can achieve such a state and take away the good fortune in this secret realm. I advise you to let go of the immortal flowers to avoid wasting these years of practice." In mid-air, the Dachan king who took action spoke, and the fire around him was overwhelming. As a king, he seemed to be confident. "Nonsense, even if all of you come together, together you are no match for me. If you dare to take the idea of Chalcedony, you will only die." The Shenmue Demon King didn't panic at all, and its branches flew to the sky. In an instant, all the weapons of the Great King were blocked and flew thousands of meters away. Boom! There was a slight tremor from the heaven and the earth, and then, a branch of the Shenmue Demon King crossed the sky, blasting the Great King away on the spot. The Dachan King opened his mouth and coughed up blood in the void. He could not withstand the attack of the Shenmue Demon King and almost collapsed in mid-air. Such a scene really shocked everyone here. The king who was about to take action was also shocked. He did not expect that a great king would be so vulnerable to the Shenmue Demon King. "What are you fellow Taoists waiting for? As long as we take this magic tree, we will share the Chalcedony equally." The Dachan king was naturally unwilling to give in. He let out a low roar, and some of the kings around him who had been preparing for the attack could no longer bear it. They rose into the air and used their magic weapons to greet the valley. In the blink of an eye, dozens of kings' holy weapons were blasted into the valley, and the terrifying king's runes completely overwhelmed the Shenmue Demon King. In the valley, the divine clouds surged, the king's runes burst out, the divine wood demon king danced all over the sky, and the terrifying divine power intertwined between the heaven and the earth, extremely fierce. Such a scene frightened thousands of monks around. The might of the Dachan king was unbearable for them, their souls were trembling, and they wanted to kneel down. Yuan Kong, Qin Feng and others were secretly stunned. The power displayed by this group of great kings was really terrifying. With such power, even Qin Feng couldn't stop it if he were on the field. "Master, this is too scary. How about we retreat?" At this time, even Zhou Qing the little money grubber, backed off. Even she was afraid of the great king's attack. If it weren't for the light shield on Qin Feng's body, she would have fled immediately. Wait a little longer. If he left like this, Qin Feng was indeed a little unwilling. With so many great kings attacking together, he hoped that they and the demon king of the divine wood both be defeated, and then he could reap the benefits. Kill. In the air, the king's runes were crisscrossed, and the demon king of the divine wood was also at ease in the face of the siege of many kings. This made Qin Feng very suspicious. There should be a formation in this valley that can bless the demon king's cultivation, so that it can have the power to fight against these kings. Sure enough, when Qin Feng stared at the 9 dragon mountains around him with his fiery eyes, he found something fishy. Although these 9 dragon mountains are the formations that protect this place, they also have inexplicable secret powers. Zheng Wang combined those secret powers and blessed the demon king of the divine wood, which directly increased his cultivation by dozens of times, and he could fight against dozens of great kings and remain invincible. There is a way. At this time, Qin Feng's heart moved, and he also had a bold idea in his mind. Invincible Scratch Lottery System. Author, Xiankong Fashi. Chapter 811. Nearby, the 9 dragon mountains tower into a continuous patch, surrounding the Demon King Valley. There are brilliant divine patterns flowing there, blessing the energy of the divine tree Demon King, allowing it to fight dozens of great kings and remain invincible. Qin Feng ordered Zhou Qing'er, Ye Qingcheng and others to follow Long Ma, who disappeared into Yunlei on the holy beast White Elephant. Since the formation was to be destroyed, the size of the holy beast White Elephant would be easily exposed. So, as the light flashed on the white elephant of the holy beast, it shrank to its normal size, hid its cultivation, and became a gray elephant. It led Qin Feng through the air and came to a dragon mountain. They arrived at Longshan without alerting anyone who was fighting. As Qin Feng broke through Longshan's protective formation, 1 person and 1 elephant came to the entrance of a huge cave. Buzz. As Qin Feng approached here, terrifying runes suddenly erupted from the belly of Longshan. The terrifying momentum acted on Qin Feng's body, causing ripples to appear from his protective light shield. And at this time, the runes in the heart of the mountain flickered, the formations opened, and a terrifying murderous intention filled the air. Qin Feng had a fiery eye. He discovered that the runes here could kill powerful men in the realm of princes. Even ordinary kings would have difficulty. He used his eyes to observe carefully here, looking for the birth gate nurtured by heaven and earth. Finally, Qin Feng's golden eyes found the formation hub here. In the distance, the majesty of the king radiated to the surrounding areas. No one paid attention to Qin Feng. They walked around a huge stone and disappeared in a flash. In the heart of the mountain, a huge stone monument stands, with the king's runes engraved on it, releasing terrifying divine power, intertwined here, looking extremely terrifying. Clang. Qin Feng's eyes turned cold. He pointed forward like a sword, and a sword energy penetrated the void at his fingertips. However, when he pointed his light at the stone tablet, a patch of king's runes actually appeared on the stone tablet, protecting the stone tablet from being destroyed. Moreover, the counter-shock force spread out from the stone tablet. After reflecting Qin Feng's sword energy, it turned back toward him, becoming more powerful than before. This scene made Qin Feng frown. He controlled the holy beast White Elephant and escaped in an instant. The sword light broke through the void and hit a large mountain not far away. It pierced the mountain on the spot. Its power was truly astonishing. A ray of golden light bloomed in Qin Feng's eyes. The defense of the stone tablet was extremely strong. With his cultivation in the realm of princes, he could not break it. But this was not difficult for Qin Feng. With a swipe sound, he raised his hand and took out his golden immortal weapon, the immortal killing sword. The immortal killing sword bloomed with brilliance like water. After he sacrificed it with the golden immortal sword embryo, it had become an inferior weapon to the golden immortal and was indestructible. Base. With just a wave of Qin Feng's hand, the immortal sword cut through the void, cutting open the extremely solid stone tablet like tofu. All of this was so astonishing that the holy beast white elephant was also dumbfounded. Fairy swords of this level were extremely sharp and extremely rare in this world. Even the runic defense of the Dachshund King can be broken through in an instant. Such a scene is really amazing. As Qin Feng destroyed the stone tablet, a strong fragrance suddenly overflowed, which made Qin Feng's eyes widen and he was extremely shocked. The stone tablet in Longshan actually contained extremely amazing essence of heaven and earth. Qin Feng used the immortal Slayer sword to split the entire stone tablet. Suddenly, he found a rich brilliance appearing in the belly of the stone tablet. The essence is dense there, and the fragrance condenses into a strange phenomenon. It is so rich that it can hardly be dissolved, and it is astonishingly bright. This is the formation of this dragon mountain. Over the years, the earth energy has been gathered to form the essence of heaven and earth. Although it cannot be compared with the immortal wood chalcedony, it is also a rare sacred object. Moreover, this stone tablet is very large, and there are enough people gathered in it. Qin Feng roughly estimates that the essence of heaven and earth in this stone tablet alone can allow a monk of his level to advance to 2 realms. This is simply an astonishing amount of wealth. This jade liquid, bred from the essence of heaven and earth, is crystal clear and contains so much vitality that it cannot be dissolved. What an amazing heaven and earth jade liquid! It seems that the other 8 Longshan mountains should also have it. Qin Feng's eyes revealed a golden light. He didn't expect that he would have such a great opportunity if he came to break the formation. In an instant, he took out a jade purification bottle from the space he carried with him. A great attraction came from the jade purification bottle, absorbing all the jade liquid from heaven and earth. For the sake of safety, Qing did not directly destroy the formation on the Dragon Mountain. After all, at this time, the Shenmue Demon King was fighting the other kings of the big city. It was best for him to let them fight and both sides would lose. Moreover, if the Shenmue Demon King is alarmed, Qin Feng will have to give up the rest of the heaven and earth jade liquid. After restoring the place to its original state, Qin Feng rode the holy beast white elephant and shuttled through the void again. Like a ray of light, they came to the next Dragon Mountain. Under Qin Feng's careful observation, he found another formation hub on Longshan Mountain. There is also an astonishing essence of heaven and earth there, and the energy essence contained in it turns into holy light, which is really strong. Just after Qin Feng left the second Dragon Mountain riding the holy beast white elephant, a Dachshund King appeared behind them. The great sage king did not participate in the battle against the king of sacred trees. Instead, he took his entourage and observed carefully nearby, hoping to reap the benefits. There were many great kings who had the same idea as him. Just now, he found the holy light overflowing here, so he rushed over to observe. After a careful inspection here, he and his followers did not find anything wrong, because when Qin Feng left, he used the formation of the same level to seal the stone tablet. This puzzled the great King Sumi, but he knew from the remaining energy in the void that the young man just now must have obtained some secret treasures of heaven and earth. So, he led people to follow Qin Feng and touched him. He thought that Qin Feng must have mountain treasures on his body, and the other party was only at the level of princes. This was an unimaginable opportunity for him. What a pool of heaven and earth jade liquid! When Qin Feng opened the third formation stone tablet, the great King Sumi appeared with several servants. He looked at the full stone tablet in front of him. He was extremely shocked and surprised. This heaven and earth jade liquid flowed with holy light, and there were strange phenomena interweaving. The fragments of the avenue engraved in it were extremely amazing. This is not an ordinary spiritual liquid, but the essence gathered over thousands of years by the formation. It contains fragments of the Great Way and is engraved with king runes. Just one drop is enough to make many cultivators break their heads.